Do you see a gap in athletic support at the Highland Games where you
Oh,
are?
yes, for sure. I'll give you an example, and this happens frequently. And there could be ways to fix it, but I don't know that it would. It's going to have a lot more communication among people. But I will go to a game. I'll travel somewhere to a game. Let's say, so for example, in January, I went down to Central Florida and threw down there in the game. It was also like the annual general meeting. Um, and it wasn't until if people happened to walk by the field and saw, oh, hey, it wasn't until like the second day of the event, and I'd thrown on the first day. I was walking around and going, oh man, I didn't know you were throwing, and all this kind of stuff. I'd come down and watch, and so it's there's a, and I can only speak for myself, but I think that there's a gap in when the athletes do it, like say they don't seem as connected to the clan side of it, so they don't always notify, hey man, go talk to your clan tent and let them know that you're there so they can always direct people that come out to visit, hey, why don't you go watch one of our athletes over at the field, here's what their tartan looks like, because obviously all the tents have tartans and stuff, this is what our tartan is, go watch those and support the games and stuff like that. I think that the tents could do a little bit more to support the games. I think there is a disconnect. I think a lot of the people that are in Highland Games are just like ex athletes and whatnot that just want to keep, competing and stuff. And I can't say that I'm not one of those. They just don't have as much connection an actual society. So I wish that they would. So that's I do think that there is a gap.
So you have a connection there with me. The first games I had ever went to watch as a spectator was Dunedin. The first games I had ever participated in as a thrower was Central Florida, and oh my God, that was something just else. It was different. And then I moved to Indiana, where I am now, and it's a completely different world. Florida, there's not a clan role; there's a clan village.
Yes.
In Indiana, there's two or three clan tents. In Kentucky, there might be five or six clan tents.
Yep.
And it's a lot different coming from that world down in Florida. Um, so I guess is that what you see as one of the big problems that you're trying to solve, because I think that's where I'm at. I am a commissioner in Clan Campbell, deputy commissioner. I'm an athlete. I see both sides, and I see kind of that lack from both sides, feeding into each other for that
Um,
longevity.
this is one of those things that I think had come to mind that I mentioned before we started, that gives me more ideas. And I should circle back to try to incorporate it more and closing that gap. Um, so I do think there's a role. I understand exactly what you're saying as far as like in different places, the amount of involvement with the clans and stuff as far as like at the actual games. Central Florida, it's a whole separate thing over here. The field's awesome over here, but it's like it's a lot. It's a whole lot, but it was great. It was awesome. And then I've been to other games, just like going, yeah, man. There's like one vendor, one tent, and it's just the athletes. So
Yeah.
um, I think that may be more a matter of where the games are and the clans having conveners in the area that are willing to travel there. Um, I think that um, the athletes, if they get involved in trying to reach out to their clan website, could advertise more when they're going to certain games. Not just so the clan society is real good about hey, we're going to convene a tent at X Games. The athletes don't always do it, and so I think that they could get more involved in that. And that's one thing I think that I have found out through the throwing club, that um, I wish there had been. I wish there's more dialogue amongst each other on the club, not just like me saying, "Hey, here's what's going over here, and here's what's going over here," and other people. So I've kind of opened it up to some other administrators that are in the throwing club to try to get more people, just conversing back and forth about different things. I don't know if it's just a matter of people too busy, or it's like so far down their list of priorities. I don't know. I wish it was more interactive amongst the members. It doesn't seem to be that way a lot.